"How about your plans for the weekend, Dom?" Lucy asked, while sitting on my desk with a genuinely interested look on her face. Me and Lucy always caught up before the end of work, sort of a ritual, if you will. "Oh, probably work out, see some friends, all the basics," I replied, knowing full well all that awaited me was another 2 days of sitting in front of my laptop, browsing adult content and stuffing my face with all the unhealthy snacks. But hey, keeping up appearances and all that jazz, I couldn't let the girl I've liked for over a year now know how much of a loser I was. She gently smiled at me and brushed one side of her fringe from her eyes, before looking up at the clock. Lucy was one of the only people I have gotten close to in these last couple of years. I truly was mad about her, not that she had any idea. She was the type of woman that made me nervous and forget what I was doing even after all this time. The type that I know one day I will make incredibly happy when she's my wife. Don't worry, I'm no creep. I just want the situation to be perfect when I finally ask her out on a date and we start our life together. She slapped her hands down to her thighs and began rising from my desk. "Well, it's 5 o'clock. I'd better be heading home. You're not staying late again, are you?" I glanced at the clock, a little upset she was leaving so soon. I've got a couple of things I need to do before leaving. But hey, send me a text when you get home safe." She rolled her eyes at me in a playful way and placed her hand on my shoulder. "Enjoy your weekend, Dom." I swiveled around on my chair, watching her as she walked down the corridor. I'd been staying late at work for the last month now due to my manager giving me an overload of paperwork to do. Lucy had always been on my case about standing up for myself and telling him to give it to someone else. I did not have that kind of backbone, unfortunately. I preferred the work, however. It kept me from being at home on my laptop watching stuff. As she turned the corner and left my vision, I swiveled back around and put in my headphones. The office got a little creepy when nobody was around, and I found the best way to deal with it was to ignore it. Story of my life, I guess. About an hour and a half into the repetitive paperwork, and my hand cramping up at least 6 times, I pulled myself up and pushed my back into the chair. Enjoying the cracking in my spine, I looked at my computer screen and saw something I'd never noticed before. Right in the middle of my desktop was a shortcut to a program called Simon Says. The icon was a picture of a cartoon man wearing glasses. I pulled out my earphones, abruptly interrupting Fleetwood Mac, and squinted at the screen. I stood up from my desk, glancing over the cubicle walls, and scouted the office to see if I was alone. I was easily distracted. Lucy often teased me about it all the time, and this random icon that seemingly appeared out of nowhere that was ruining my mountaintop wallpaper had certainly piqued my interest. I moved my hand over to my mouse and curiously double-tapped on the icon, waiting in anticipation for something to happen. After about 10 seconds, a window popped up, displaying the same cartoon face with glasses as the logo on a white background. There was a text box underneath his face with the sentence, "Hello, welcome to Simon Says. The rules are simple. Complete the tasks given to you, but only when they come from Simon directly. If they do not come from Simon, then ignore them. We will move on to the next command automatically after completing or failing. Have fun. We know we will." I could feel the confused expression on my face. My nose was scrunched up, and my eyes were wide open. My mind was running with ideas of what this was and how it ended up on my computer. A company program to promote productivity was my first thought, but an email would have been sent around to let us know. A virus? Had I downloaded it at some point and completely forgotten? Regardless of how it came to be, I was still very intrigued and wanted to continue. I couldn't see a button to progress anywhere on the screen, so I clicked the face of who I assumed was Simon. The original text disappeared and was replaced with "Simon says, touch your nose." I snorted at the ridiculous command and sarcastically lifted my finger towards my nose while shaking my head. The second my finger made contact with my nose, confetti shot up from the bottom of the screen and new text appeared. "Well done." I pulled my head back a little, shocked by how the program knew I had completed the task. Must be connected to the webcam, I said to myself. A little impressed by the program, I started reading the second command. "Stand up from your chair." Now, when I read this, I knew full well Simon hadn't told me to do it. But call me curious, I wanted to know the repercussions of getting it wrong. So up I stood from my chair. Bad decision. Pins and needles came rushing in, almost collapsing me to the ground before I grabbed the side of my cubicle to stop my fall. I composed myself and sat back down to the chair. As I looked up to see the screen, the image of Simon was one of anger. His brow had furrowed, and his eyes were squinted. "We'll give you that one on the house, Tom, but any more mistakes and you'll regret it." Whoa. This had scared me for several reasons. How did it know my name? What did it mean I'd regret it? Instead of attempting to frustrate this animated face in front of me, I decided to treat this as a competition and play by the rules. The look of Simon's angry face was embedded into my memory, and, as we established before, no backbone. Even when it came to a fake personality on my computer screen. So time passed by, and I completed each task Simon gave me, and ignored the ones he hadn't. They were all pretty menial, but I was enjoying it nevertheless. Simon says, clap your hands. Spin around in your chair. Simon says, cover your ears. Recite the lyrics of Porti Volare. Thank God Simon did not say that one. As time went on, it started to get pretty late and I needed to head home, so I figured I've had my fun, but it was time to stop. I moved my cursor up to the little X in the top right corner and clicked to close the window. As I did this, new text appeared. "Not yet, Dom. We have 4 more commands left, all coming from Simon himself." What the hell? Did this program really just deny me access to close it? I sat on my chair, scratching my head, beginning to get a little distressed by the nerve that Simon was displaying. Now, any normal person would have turned the computer off at this point, pulled the plug, hell, even smashed it into a million little pieces, and just gone home. But not me. I stared at Simon's face, contemplating about the final 4 menial commands and what they could be. What the hell, I grunted, and I clicked Simon's face. Simon says, cut up your credit card. I bellowed a throaty chuckle across the empty, silent office and shook my head. Looked above the monitor to my webcam and confidently stated, that's not going to happen, hoping whatever was running this program understood it and allowed me to finally end the game. For a while, nothing happened. I sat on my monitor waiting for something, anything. The silence was causing a ringing in my ear, and the moment felt very tense. I must have been focused on the screen for about 30 seconds, when I finally came crashing out of my intense state by my phone ringing. I picked it up and checked the caller ID. I felt a smile wash over my face as I saw it was Lucy. I quickly answered the call and lifted it to my ear. Hey, about time you finally called. I was cut off by a blood-curdling scream coming from the other end. Don, please do what he says, please. They're going to The line was cut off. My soul left my body. Staring at the phone, the realization of what was happening hit me like the moon falling to the earth. This program was something bigger than I originally thought. They had Lucy. The only thing I slightly cared about in this world was currently in the possession of the very thing that was commanding me to carry out their tasks. I lifted my heavy head up to the monitor. Simon says, "Cut up your credit card, Don," was the text on the screen. So that's what I did. I grabbed my wallet from my briefcase, pulled out my card, grabbed the scissors from my cabinet, and began to cut my credit card into 6 pieces. I was at their will. I couldn't walk away from my computer and risk Lucy's life. I had to complete the remaining 3 tasks if I had any chance of saving the girl I loved. I was sweating. My hands were shaking. My mind was all over the place. I looked up to the screen and noticed the new command had appeared. Simon says, "Cut off your hand." The next thing I know, I was waking up in hospital 2 days later with severe cuts around my wrist. The doctors tell me I had a panic attack at work, attempted to kill myself and fainted during the ordeal, hitting my head on the way down. The police are coming to speak to me about the disappearance of Lucy. Apparently, she was the last person I called. I plan on telling them everything. It's probably already too late for her. I failed. I'm writing this down in case anything happens to me. I'm ending this once and for... Oh, I just got a text. Simon says, "The game is not over."